Hi, my name is Aaron Ho, and in this video, I'm going to be going over the different organs in the digestive system and how food that we eat as humans is digested in our body. So let's begin. Over here, we have a little diagram of the digestive system that we'll be using to follow through with this process. So in humans, the first step to digestion is actually eating the food itself. And the way we eat the food is by inserting it in our mouth, and we begin by chewing and masticating the food. So as we see over here, we zoom in, the food will enter through the mouth and the teeth will begin to mash, churn, and chew the food. And this is a form of digestion called mechanical digestion. And this is done by our teeth and our tongue as we move our tongue around to create a bolus, and we use our teeth to grind up the food. And we also have our saliva that helps break down the food as well. And what's so important about our saliva is that our saliva contains an enzyme called amylase. And what amylase does is that it will begin to break down carbohydrates before we swallow the food down our esophagus. And as you see over here, we have 3 different salivary glands that will release saliva into our mouth and help break down the food, which is very important. So as we move down, the food will go down this long muscular tube called the esophagus. And the way it goes down the esophagus is through an action called peristalsis, which is basically the contraction of the esophagus to bring the food down into the stomach, which is the next part we're gonna reach. So as the food goes down and reaches the stomach, right over here, it's gonna start digesting the food chemically. The stomach contains gastric acids such as hydrochloric acid. This is a very strong acid that will help break down the food, and there will also be an enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin will be inside the stomach, and in the stomach, this is where most of the protein digestion will occur, right over here. So pepsin and hydrochloric acid is what's going to be breaking down all the food, and it's going to be breaking down all the proteins to the smaller peptides. There will also be other nucleases, which will help break down nucleic acids if present in the food over here. And that all happens in the stomach. And after the stomach will be the small intestine. The small intestine is where majority of the digestion will take place, specifically in the first part, which is called the duodenum. So in the duodenum, it's going to be connected to the stomach, and the pancreas will also have access to secrete its enzymes into the duodenum. So the pancreas, which is this little organ over here, if you guys can see it, it's going to be secreting enzymes such as lipase, which will help break down the fatty acids. Which will help break down the fats into fatty acids and glycerol. And in the duodenum of the small intestine, the gallbladder, which is a part of the liver, will help secrete bile, and this bile will help emulsify the fats, and it will break down the bigger fat globules into smaller fat globules in which our cell could uptake it. And that's going to happen over here in the duodenum, which is the start of the small intestine, and this is the pancreas secreting its different enzymes to help break down the food. And within the small intestine itself, like I said before, this is where most of the digestion will occur, and it's going to release enzymes such as maltase, sucrase, and lactase. And what this will do is that it will further help break down these carbohydrates into more simpler molecules, such as glucose. And this all happens in the small intestine. And within the small intestine, this is where most of the nutrient absorption will occur. So the nutrients in the small intestine will be absorbed straight into our bloodstream, where our blood will take these nutrients and supply it through different types of cells in our body and throughout our whole body itself, because our body needs this energy to produce ATP and keep on functioning the way it does. And most of the time, once all of the nutrients are absorbed, including glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids, they're all going to be going straight to the bloodstream. And all of the remaining waste products and unwanted products will be going to the large intestine. And typically in the large intestine, there's going to be different bacteria that's going to help break down the unwanted material in our large intestine, and this will help form the feces in which we're going to excrete out.